So welcome guys back to another video. This one is going to be about cryptocurrency, in particular Cardano, as you can probably tell from the title. Just to give you an update for tomorrow, there will be the big November 6 months selling on Amazon and entrepreneurship, I guess. 6 months into my journey, I'm going to tell you what I made in November. It's pretty exciting, and but for that'll be in the next video. For this, we'll get into Cardano. So let's go. So if you didn't know, Cardano does appear quite high on the market cap for cryptocurrency. If you didn't know what this site is, it's basically just coin market cap. Lists all the coins. And some of the things we're going to be over today, as you can see, there's 1,300 coins. So if you just kind of, have a stab in the dark and pick a good idea, you're not necessarily going to earn money in cryptocurrency. You probably could, because it's quite a bullish market and it's quite a new market, but we really want, to see those 10x gains, or catch the next Ethereum or the next Bitcoin or whatever you want to say. You have to kind of do a little bit of research, and there's certain criteria that I use myself, which has been very successful so far, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that in future videos. But we're going to break down Cardano today. So Cardano is number 9 on CoinMarketCap, because it has the 9th largest market cap at 3.8 billion. I'm looking at the wrong one. It has the market cap of 3.285 million. Currently trades about 12.5 cents, so very, very small. If you click onto this, you're able to see the coin supply is quite high at 31 billion, but Cardano is in a different situation to some other coins. So Cardano is trying to become a platform similar to Ethereum and work with platforms and things like that. So in its long term and its full lifespan, if you could compare it to Ethereum, Ethereum has 96 million. So Cardano has a lot more coins, so it probably will never hit the $1,000 mark, like Bitcoin has, and Ethereum probably will. But it still has a lot of room to grow, and it has a great team backing it as well. I'm going to be mainly talking about the team today, but there are a few other factors that you need to consider when breaking down cryptocurrency. But for me, it's all about the team. If there's a good team there, I don't care about what the idea is. If the idea is bad, but it has a solid team, as you guys should know by now if you've watched my channel for a while, execution is everything. If you have a great idea but do nothing, it's worth nothing. But if you have a bad idea but you execute it every single day and you work hard and graft at it, it will probably still come to something. It might not take over the world, but at least it will come to something. So Cardano, this is their hub, Cardano hub. So you can see a lot of information about it. You can see their goals. They actually released their their roadmap. So kind of why they want to be and by when, over 2018 and 2019, just yesterday. I stayed up till 1 AM to see it, and it was quite exciting. I believe it should be on here now somewhere. There it is, roadmap. So I'm not sure how you're able to tell the exact date. Okay, there you go. So it says expected Q2 of 2018 is when it's fully decentralized and an autonomous system, which is eventually when it becomes a trustless system. So that currently, for the next kind of Q1 of January and the end of this year, it's going to be a somewhat centralized or semi-decentralized platform where they're going to be testing running it, by itself and autonomously. So it's not completely trustless yet, but that's why it currently trades at 12 cents. But the team behind it, I believe they can execute it. But we have, open, whatever this delegation is, multi-signature transactions, which is eventually something that has to happen autonomously. Wallet back-end, consensus incentives. So as you can see kind of what they're going to be working on and in what order, and also who's going to be working on it by the looks of things, which is actually quite interesting. I've never seen a roadmap do that before. But if we do head back to the team, this is when things get really interesting for Cardano. They have a really, really large team, and primarily, you can see here that they were founded in 2015 by IOHK, which actually stands for Input Output Hong Kong. So they are a platform that's based in Hong Kong. And the main name here, not to discredit Jeremy Wood by anything, but Charles Hoskinson, if we head across to here, we can do a little bit of research. And as you can see, Ethereum comes up. Now, Charles Hoskinson was actually was part of the core team of Ethereum when it first launched with Vitalik Buterin, and essentially helped take that from $1 to a few $100. And then he realized that there were some issues with Ethereum, that maybe its scalability wasn't so perfect, and that wasn't something that they can address later unless they take it down and rebuild the whole platform. And that's essentially what he's done with his own team. He's created his own team, something that he can build up that he sees as more scalable than Ethereum. And from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, if there's someone who's a little bit more knowledgeable about this than myself, but Cardano is done because it already has layers on top of the blockchain. Ethereum is trying to add layers on later, which becomes very tricky, and they don't always work very well together. But Cardano is being created with those layers already in place, so that this kind of trustless system can run perfectly with, you know, millions, potentially billions of transactions per second, without, you know, like we've seen with Bitcoin, the transactions slow down, start charging higher fees for transactions. That's something that won't happen with Cardano, in theory. The team behind it, like I said, Charles Hoskinson was part of the core team of Ethereum, and look where Ethereum is now. I think that alone is pretty incredible from what he's done. So he's very, very knowledgeable in the industry. He's very reputable in the industry, and team is one of the things that you need to look for when you invest in any cryptocurrency. There are other things as well, like the technicals, like the coin supply. So that's how you can kind of figure out, you know, the max supply is 45 billion. So it's going to be pretty tricky, you know, to get a large amount of value from the coin. You know, it's probably never going to hit $1,000, like I said, but that's not to say that because it's trading at 12 cents, it's going to stay at 12 cents forever. You know, just in a few days, it went from 2 cents to 12 cents, which is pretty huge. You know, if you had $1,000 in that, you probably just 6x your money. 10,000, you know, just scales up. It's insane. But the team behind it, the actual principles and what it's trying to achieve is very, very interesting as well. And just to kind of go over their goals very briefly before I finish the video, it says here to study and propose blockchain and cryptocurrency regulation, to act as the blockchain and cryptocurrency standards body. And that brings me on to a different point with Ethereum. I'm not sure if this is why Charles Hoskinson left, but there was one point when Vitalik has a lot of power over Ethereum. I think he's in his teens, he's similar age to myself, and he has a lot of control over what happens with Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is basically supposed to be a trustless system, a decentralized system that all happens autonomously, and a lot of people believe that code is law. You'll hear that phrase passed around a lot, which basically means that if something happens that's not supposed to happen, but it was in the code and it wasn't, you know, hacked, or even if it was hacked and someone got in because of bad code, and let's say they lose $100 million, that has to stay like that, and then they patch it and then they carry on. It's not a case of, okay, they lost $100 million and then they kind of distribute that against everyone so that everyone maybe is a little bit down, instead of, you know, one person losing $100 million. Instead of the people who did just get hacked and lose their money having lost their money, Vitalik decided to spread that out across everyone. And some people disagreed with that. I'm not sure if Charles Hoskinson did leave because of that, but I'm sure that was something in his mind, that he thought that maybe wasn't good, and that's hence why it's now a standards body in a cryptocurrency regulation. And then if we look briefly at the white paper as well, we can see that there's a lot of different things here. I mean, I do recommend that you read through this yourself as well if you are planning to invest in Cardano. Also, if you haven't signed up to Binance yet, please do use the link in the description. I don't really make these videos to make money from the affiliate marketing of Binance. I generally do just enjoy talking about cryptocurrency, but if you do want to use that link in the description and sign up to Binance, it really does help out the channel as well if you do make trades on Binance then in the future. So thank you to everyone who does that, plus it doesn't cost you anything. But as you can see here, it says separation of accounting and computation into different layers, and that's how that scaling process is going to work a little bit better. But I think something that really is going to come into the foreground of cryptocurrency when it does start to go more mainstream, so to say, which could be starting already, is the regulation side of it, and the actual in-house regulation of cryptocurrency will be a lot more interesting, and Cardano is planning to be a part of that. But as I will say time and time again, you can use the technicals, you can use the chart analysis, and you can think maybe, oh yeah, this is a really cool idea, and invest in it. But if you don't know, who's working on it, and is there kind of room in the market for this idea? Is that actually going to be adopted once it's created? But one of the things that really does draw me to Cardano, like I said, is the team. The team behind it is second to none, really. With the likes of Charles Hoskinson and Jeremy Wood, IOHK is a world-class engineering technology company committed to using a peer-to-peer innovations to provide financial services to 3 billion people that don't have them. That's a huge market that is going to blow up when cryptocurrency does become mainstream. And as you can see here, it is a long haul. This isn't something that you're just going to invest in. You've made 100 grand. It doesn't quite work like that with crypto. Sometimes it does, and sometimes people are very lucky. People have made millions overnight by cryptocurrency, but the group is contracted to design, build, and maintain the Cardano platform through to 2020. So there is a long way to go for Cardano. It's by no means a finished project, but I'm very optimistic about it. But make sure if you do invest, you do your own research, and if you haven't signed up to Binance, use the link in the description, as that is the best place to trade cryptocurrency in my opinion. It's very secure. You get a very high withdrawal and deposit, I think, of 1 Bitcoin per day, which is now $10,000, which is more than enough for me. Plus, you can verify up to 100 Bitcoin as well, which is pretty insane. But let me know what you guys think. If you have some different opinions or if you've heard some different things about Cardano, let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like rating if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. There will be a lot more content on cryptocurrency coming. If you are interested in kind of how to get started with cryptocurrency, make sure you do subscribe, as I will be doing a kind of more or less step-by-step course on my YouTube channel to show you guys how to kind of fully get immersed into cryptocurrency, because now that I've been involved in the industry for, a few months, I've really started to see the potential of this. I really wish I knew about it 3 years ago, as does many people, I'm sure, but it's still not too late. You're still going to be in that early adopters phase, and you might not be the initial, smart money that got involved on day one, but you can still catch a very, very large upside by just moving slightly faster and acting slightly quicker than other people. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for another video, of course, possibly even a live stream. We'll see. It depends kind of what happens for time. I will be traveling a little bit, but I will do my very best. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.